What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction show. Palace 3, Millwall 1. We've done it again in the FA Cup, and there's a lot to discuss. As always, make sure to get involved throughout the show by dropping down your thoughts in the live comment, as well as the comment section down below if you're watching on replay, and dropping a like and subscribing if you are new here. Let's try and hit over 200 likes. I know we're starting a bit later than usual. Normally we do it straight after the game, but for personal reasons, we just couldn't start early. But I was at the game with Lou, bumped into a few people today as well. All smiles on our face. Of course, through to the quarterfinals. City have just scored, so looking at other results. But before we get started, Lou, about the game, how are you, man? I was at the game with you, but how are you feeling now that you've had ability to digest the result and everything that's going around us?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird game, but the Mateta thing kind of threw everyone off a bit. But listen, all that mattered was getting the win and going through to the next round. Bragging rights was second, and probably the performance third. But yeah, I'm happy, man. 3-1 win. What's that? 9 goals in 3 days in a week. Only 2 conceded. All good, man.
Yeah. If you do enjoy the stream, as I said, hit the like button, people. And if you do want to call into the show live, you can click on the pinned comment to join us live this evening to give us your thoughts on the game, whether you watched it at home or at the ground. But yeah, before we actually get into the game, first of all, one highlight before the game even started, the scrap in the after. I don't know how that Millwall fan got there, but I think he got humbled. That's the best way of describing it.
Man went solo. He thought people was going to come behind him. Man looked behind.
I was looking on the right hand side. It was him against like 4 or 5 Palace fans. I don't know how he managed to get there. But yeah, I think the biggest thing about today is that Millwall had the day out. You know, got to watch the Palace play and then go back home, go back to where they belong. But let's start off with the lineup. There was a bit of a surprise to me with Walter not starting, but apart from that, Ben Chilwell started. We talk about individual performances as well as the goals. Was you surprised by the 3 changes? Lerma coming in for Walter, Chilwell coming in for Mitchell, and Henderson being on the bench and Turner playing ahead of him? What was your thoughts when you saw that?
I was okay with it. I did think that Millwall were going to sit back, so I would have preferred Walton to start. But yeah, there was a team was good enough to go out there and win. So yeah, I was okay with the team. I was happy. Chilwell got 90 minutes. I would have preferred Chilwell to start, just so he can get some match fitness. And obviously, Turner's the cup goalkeeper until it gets, well, it was serious today, but if we get like a Premier League team in the quarterfinals, I don't want to see Turner in goal, I'll be honest. And Walton's having his minutes managed. So yeah, man, I was all good with the lineup.
Yeah. There's a super chat here. Thank you, Matteo, saying shout out to you guys. Love the streams and even better with a win. Prayers for JP. 100% we're going to talk about Mateta after the lineup news. But yeah, look, the only player that I was surprised about was Walton, as I said. But then again, it kind of does make sense. He played his first 90 minutes since October against Villa. No, did he stay on for 90 minutes against Villa? No,
he come off about 75 around that.
Yeah, it was the first start anyway. So it was his first start. And yeah, it didn't really, at the time I was like, whoa. But then as I kind of took it in, I was like, you know what, he's coming back from long-term injury. And we still managed to get the job done without Walton. Of course, it wasn't a great performance, and we're going to get into that as well. There's quite a few things to get into today. But at the end, we got the job done, 3-1. It got comfortable after the second goal, to be fair. And then Millwall kind of scored that goal, tried to offer a little something different. But in all honesty, I wasn't as worried. I just felt like we'll get the job done. But thank you, Matteo, for the super chat. It's always greatly appreciated. Now, the biggest thing there was, of course, the Mateta injury. Even when I left the ground, like I was happy about the 3-1, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking about that. It was like a sour note, despite the performance. There has been a positive update from JP. He has posted on his Instagram that he's doing well and he hopes to come back stronger than before. Oliver Glasner, post-match interview with Palace, said that he will miss the Ipswich game, but we hope to have him back for the quarterfinal game. I think it's something to do with his ear. First of all, how on earth didn't Michael Oliver give that a straight red from the start? I just want to land there. Some people may say he already got a red card. Like, it doesn't matter. VAR checked it. But seriously, that is one of the nastiest challenges I've seen in a long time. Studs out straight to the face. Steve Parish, I think, at halftime spoke to BBC as well. He was covering the game in the UK. And he said that it was one of the worst challenges from an experienced goalie. By the way, he's 30 years old. He's not even young. It was crazy. It was crazy. What was your thoughts on it? Because you was at the ground with me as well. But then I think you went to piss, right? I don't know if you saw it. Oh, Lou's frozen. Let's bring on Tim while we get Lou back. Oh, Lou, are you back?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I went toilet, so I missed it.
Oh, you missed it. Well, Tim, I know you definitely saw it. Hopefully, if you saw the game,
yeah.
No, I mean, what were your thoughts on it when the referee didn't give it a red card straight away? Because I think it's a serious thing. Like, honestly, if you're outside doing that to someone, you're getting locked up. Like, that is, it's crazy.
Yeah, no. Thank you for mentioning it that way, because we need to have a conversation about Michael Oliver. We say he's the best, or at least this has been the narrative, that he's the best referee in the Premier League. Is he? Is he? I ain't so sure. Not anymore. Not after I mean, how you don't even pull a yellow. You're there. You're looking at it. The keeper goes full Eric Cantona right in JP's face. How is that not an immediate sending off? The fact that, so, I mean, I know Steve Parish doesn't have his fans, but he gets it exactly right. He gets it exactly right in his interview. I didn't get to see the comments, his live comments, but I read them, and he said it's one of the most awful challenges he's ever seen. He's absolutely endangered the player, and we have to talk about it. It's crazy. And the fact that Alex Neil, I forget the Millwall manager's name is, I get that you have to defend your players, but come on, man. That is, it's outrageous. It's an outrageous challenge. I get that he has a right to go for the ball, but you're outside the box. You know, if you're going to go for the ball, if you're going to commit yourself, is not the only thing you can do at that point. Because if you're going to go full karate kick, you know you're going to get yourself in trouble. And if it's an experienced keeper, you head it. Yeah, it might be, you might have a clash of heads, but I mean, I don't get it. There's no defending that. I don't know who's trying to defend it at Millwall, but I think that's insane.
The manager. I don't know if you saw it, Lou, as well. The manager after the game said that those types of challenges apparently happen up and down the country. I personally, I know there's some nasty challenges at times, but that was at
he's out of his mind.
Happens week in, week out. Alex, no, it was a weird comment to make, because if it was the other way around, there's no way he's making that comment. There is no way on earth you cannot convince me that he's saying that's fine. Like, it's a normal challenge. It's just stupid. It's stupid from them. And let's get into it in terms of what their manager said quickly. Not their manager, what the fans were chanting, because there's been, I don't know, like a split. Some people are not happy, Lou, with the "let him die" phrase, the chants. The reason why, look, when you say that chant, if you haven't been to a football game, like it sounds.
We sang it back to their player.
Yeah, we sang it to their player as well. But a lot of people were upset over the chanting around Mateta. What was your thoughts on it from the Millwall fans?
It doesn't really matter to me. It's a game of football. It's what happens. I've heard a million times worse. And what do you expect? It's Millwall. Like, that's light for Millwall. That's light. So they were singing Mateta's in. They were singing A&E songs. They were singing all sorts. Of course, they're going to do that. But they lost, and they're out, and we're miles ahead of them in terms of how big our club is, where we are. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So according to reports, FA is not going to look into that, which, you know what, it might sound unpopular, but I'm not surprised, because we also sang the same chant towards their player when he was injured in front of the Homesdale. That chant is like, it's unfortunate. It's like a common chant that happens in the game. But I think the FA is going to look into
the homophobic chants.
Yeah, homophobic chants chanted towards Ben Chilwell, which of course it's just ridiculous. So I didn't hear it because it was down that end, but of course Chilwell was playing down the left hand side, so at least they're going to be looking into that. But yeah, Mateta goes off, Eddie comes on. Tim, was you still calm at that moment? I mean, it was a bit of a shock seeing Mateta come off, but in my head, I was like, all right, this is Eddie's opportunity now.
I mean, I'm glad that Eddie took his chance. I have to say, there were a few of us who were kind of using the match reaction chat to follow the game. And I needed Andy to calm me down because I was fuming. I was furious at that challenge. I mean, I've lost my head a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So I was not kind in the comments. And Andy was like, all right, settle down. We don't want to make it toxic in here. But I guess you're right that maybe this is right. This is football and it gets like this, but it doesn't feel right. I mean, it doesn't feel right to me, Lou. Like we're not chanting, let him die. I was like, you know what? You can kiss my Irish ass. Sorry. If that's your response, but I guess, but I would say I thought the first half, that was really a good performance. That's a good first half performance. And it did change after JP went down, but I do think we kind of got levels a little bit in that first half, and we were well ahead and deservedly so. It's the second half where they kind of they were just dragging us down to their level. That was frustrating.
I was quite impressed with their shape in the second half, though, because when I was watching the game, I didn't really see where the space was. They seemed to have plugged the holes quite well, and we weren't moving the ball quick enough. It was one of those games. Remember when we done the watch along?
Yes.
And I said players are taking one too many touches.
Yes, and that happened this game. Yeah,
in the second half especially. But I just think it was one of those games, and we lowered our level. The game had a weird feel to it, but in cup games, all you want to do is get through. So, but yeah, I do think it was a poor performance, and it is hard to play against 10 men sometimes.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. But
I think Eddie and JP are night and day in their style of play, and we've been so used to how JP plays. I think it was quite hard for us to adapt to Eddie's game. Not that Eddie's rubbish or anything, but just it's different.
Oh, but you know what though? He was making. I'd be curious what you think about this, D. But I can see why Glasner is still high on Eddie, even though he knows he can't start him over JP. Because he talks about him a lot, that he's working really hard in training. You can see that. I saw that in this game. He's making runs consistently. He was active. He was lively. He was getting himself into positions. He is a different player. That's fine. If he's going to do that, especially at the end of that first half, he got himself into plenty of pockets, and he has what's the goal? The handball. It's the handball goal. But that's a great finish that he hits, but he gets called for handball. So I mean,
he's good in the width of the penalty area. I mean, the width of the post. He's good in in and around the 6-yard box.
Yeah. I mean, and that, if we're gonna play with width, with the wing backs, that's great for him. He can get into the middle of the box and find himself in pockets, and he'll get chances. So
do you think if he starts against, do you think we'll have to change our style of play a bit when he?
So that's an interesting question, because you have two options now. I think I would like to see Eddie start, but if you want to keep the same system, if you want to keep doing it the way Glasner's been doing it, I'm curious what you both think about this. Sarr has got pace. He can play through the middle. He's more than capable physically to make those runs. If you want to keep the same, he can play that role. I don't think he plays it the way JP plays it, but he can run in behind. He could, if we need him to, I think he could do that role. And then you could slot Essay out there on the right. You could slot maybe you could play France out there. You could play Kamada out there. You have a few options. But I would personally like to see Eddie. I think he's earned it.
Yeah.
I think
If you score 2 goals in 2 games,
you've earned it. Yeah.
Exactly. And going forward now, hopefully this helps his confidence as well. Look, since he's joined the club, there's been a lot of pressure on him because of the amount that he signed for, and he hasn't, people saying he hasn't scored a goal. He's got 4 goals now so far this season, which is not like great, but when you consider the opportunities that he's had, it's been limited. And when he has had opportunities, I feel like he hasn't had that many up front. Like he would come on and sometimes play behind JP. And that's not really his position. So
it's not his game.
He's growing as the season is going on, and I'm not as worried facing Ipswich with Eddie there as I would be if we had Edward, for example, because I do feel like Eddie has got that Premier League experience, is growing into the side, and the one thing that I like him about the most is the fact that despite him signing for £30 million and coming from Arsenal to Palace, which of course is stepping down, is that he's kept his head down. Every player that speaks about Eddie, they speak good words about him. So yeah, I mean, not everyone sees it how I see it, Lou, with Munoz as well. Of course, we don't have your live comments in the game, but yeah, you can, some of the words
I can say what I feel about these. I can demand more. You talk about you want Parish and the club to do better, but I also demand more from players.
Okay, yeah. So today, for example, we're talking about Munoz and Eddie, and both of them ended up on a score sheet.
I didn't say anything about Munoz.
Oh yeah, you haven't. No, to be fair to you, yeah, you didn't.
I didn't.
You said something about Eddie though. Are you a fan of Eddie?
I'm a fan of Eddie.
Yeah.
I support Eddie as a Palace player. I wouldn't say he's my favorite player to watch. No.
What do you think it is about his game?
I think he lacks a bit of a physical presence. I think to be a Premier League number 9 as a lone striker, you have to have some real outstanding attributes that like JP has. I think he's a fox in the box. I think he's a good squad player. But yeah, there's some elements that I don't really enjoy watching him play. No.
Yeah.
Can I give you another a stat on this though, Lou? I mean, I hear what you're saying, but Eddie's headed goal today, that puts him a grand total of 1 behind JP in terms of headed goals.
Have you seen JP's goals with his feet?
What I'm saying, like, you say he's not a physical player, and I get it. He's not the same profile as JP, but if he's going to get
2 headed goals now this season,
yeah,
the Arsenal game and this game as well, and very good headers, by the way, very good for someone who's got 2.
Look,
but did you see the goal that Mateta scored again in the same game when he bullied?
No one is slating Mateta.
That's what I'm saying. No,
Mateta's better.
I'm not slating Nketiah. I'm just saying he's not my favorite. Do I have to enjoy watching Nketiah play?
No, not at all.
You do.
I don't think you do. But I think you might be underestimating he's not the same kind of physicality as JP. I think that's fair. But I don't think
or ability.
I don't know about that. I mean, he doesn't have the same. He doesn't have the same ability right now. Like these 2 guys are at totally different levels right now. But I want to see more of what Eddie can do. I'm not convinced that he doesn't have the physicality to play up front. If he's, we're going to have to play a little different. You cannot just use him as a target man. I can see that. I mean. That is not his game. He can't do that. But I do think he's got enough. I've seen him hold up the ball. I've seen him, drive into areas. I see him get into pockets. I see him win big headers. I'm up for it. I want to see what he can do.
No doubt. I think he can do well. I'm just saying, everyone has their particular style of player they like. Do you know what I mean? I love to watch Walker.
Yeah.
And someone who loves Walker, he's not a really technical player.
Yeah. Just like Munoz. He's not your player.
Munoz is the same.
Yeah. I know.
He's a great player, but I don't, not my favorite player.
Yeah, I know. I just love when you keep talking about him and he keeps scoring a goal. It's been working out great.
I told him, wait, Tim, didn't I say I wanted more from Munoz? And he's giving me more.
Yes.
You're
So
getting
now
more.
I'm
You're
happy.
getting more.
And
You're
he's
getting more.
he's been
And
doing it. Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I demand more. Same way you demand more from the club, I demand more from our players.
Fair enough. You want to twist this on me, you can. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's what you said, though.
Any other players, Tim, that you want to talk about? Anything else in particular with the game before talk about who you would like in the draw that's happening tomorrow?
I'll give a quick shout out to Richards. He gets beat for the goal, so that's unfortunate. He does get beat by Aziz there. It's not just him, but I think he's responsible there. So that's unfortunate. But otherwise, another good game. You know, if he without conceding, that concession is the ugly part, but winning a lot of headers, strong. You know, I mean, they were targeting him down that line because, as I think we're going to see this a lot. This is to the point that you make about Munoz. Every team now has figured out that there's space behind Munoz. So that is going to be hard on Richards. Is going to have a good, strong end to the season. I thought he held up pretty well, except for giving up that goal. I thought he had a pretty good game. I liked him. And of course, seeing Wharton come on. I was a little nervous because I thought he was going to get kicked to kingdom come the minute he came on, but I mean he did all right, and he is I mean he was great. But yeah, I guess the other two I'll just quickly highlight, and then we could talk about who I'd want to see. It was nice to see França get some minutes, and it was nice to see SA get some minutes. I think he got knocked off the ball early on a bit, which was a little bit disappointing, but he grew into the game.
I think he was trying he had a great ball outside of the foot to Ed.
Yeah.
Chilwell?
It's nice to see him get
90. Ran out of steam a bit. I think he ran out of steam a little bit, but he played well.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see those players get some minutes, and Chilwell was better in the first half. He was defensively a little bit rickety in the second, but it's nice to see him get 90 minutes. We need 90 minutes from Chilwell because we need to have Glasner needs both those options on the left side. So that's good to see. That can only be good. If Chilwell can go 90 minutes and hold up, that can only be good for us.
Yeah.
So I don't think he had a phenomenal game, but I thought he was really good in the first half. But I do think he faded.
He made a lot of runs that weren't found. If we were there live, the amount of times he ran in behind and the ball didn't get played, or he would have been offside. So, and I think everyone was talking about Eze not passing to Mitchell. I don't think he passes to anyone. He don't pass to Chilwell either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's the good thing about Chilwell is that he's very much involved going forward.
Yes.
It's one for really. I wonder if he continues and plays again going forward against Ipswich, especially maybe with JP not being there. I don't know. Lou's saying no, but
I don't think he did. I don't think he played well enough to dislodge.
I think he did, especially going forward.
Wait a minute. Are you saying to dislodge Ty for the Ipswich game?
To go forward, yeah, attacking.
No,
I don't think he dislodges Ty for the Ipswich game. I'm
Ty was excellent versus Villa.
Yeah,
I know. But Ipswich is something different at home against compared to Villa.
Well, he can be something different that comes on at 60.
Yeah, but Ipswich can't come and try and get a draw. They have to win.
Yeah, and then maybe that opens up space for Chilwell to operate. You know, I think his runs were good as well. These are the people that are agreeing with you. This guy,
yeah,
twisting those balls, twisting those balls. So
his brain's twisted.
Yeah, and truth. Yeah. Chilwell
two bozos, bro.
Yeah, but David says Mitchell's better than Chilwell.
Two bozos.
Yeah, you need two different players. They're different profile players. I have no problem with Chilwell coming on. I think he's a player that comes on to change a game. Ty has done nothing to lose his spot for that Ipswich match. Not in my book. No way.
Yeah.
He's
He
just
was
trolling,
brilliant.
man.
Who would you want in the next round? Right now, there's a few teams that's been confirmed. Of course, you might wait for the fixtures for the other fixtures to finish.
Preston away.
We got Man City, Plymouth, but yeah, exactly. There's the one team that stands out for me right now. Anyways,
Yeah.
Preston is the number one. Then, as it stands, Preston. Then I would like Villa second over Bournemouth. But let's see what happens with them.
Quick question, yeah. Would you not prefer? I feel like I'd prefer to play away.
Nah. Like as I said, going into this week, it's going to be a massive week. We got a Villa win. We scored 4 goals.
I know. I just think they're so good away, though.
3 goals. We got 7 goals now at home, and Ipswich is going to be another tie. I feel like we need to get comfortable playing at home. And
I know, but I think they're so good away, though.
I know, but it's just for travel reasons, everything. Like, it's better to play at
travel.
Yeah.
These guys are. Do you think they're traveling in a minibus?
In a minibus.
You think they're doing carpool?
And they get sandwiches on a coach.
You think they're stopping off at Stoke service station?
They're stopping traveling 6-7 hours. No, but like, it's better to play at home than away. I'd rather go to the home game than away game.
I'm gonna go with D on this one, and then I gotta let you get Chris on. But and the reason, and a stupid reason, Lou, but look, the FA Cup makes you very little money, even if you win it. It's a great trophy. Obviously, it's a killer trophy. It doesn't change your financial fortunes. For a Premier League club, it means almost nothing. You win like £4.5 million. Like, that's your net if you're a Premier League club and you win the FA Cup. But where you make the money is on the TV rights on your home ground.
No,
give me more.
You share it though.
I don't know that's fully shared. You get facilities. Well, you get facilities fees every time you're on the ground. You get facilities fees for every time you host a match. So you know what? I'm
just thinking of, like, with the FA Cup, you have to give 15%. So like, it's always if you get a big away allocation, it's always good taking 5, 6, 7,000 away fans to ground, and it's
you get that. The gate is different. I'm talking about for the TV rights and for the facilities fees. Every time the Palace is hosting a match in the FA Cup, they're getting those facility fees. Also, when there's like Monday Night Football during the Premier League, all that stuff, they get those facilities fees, and that's not nothing. That's better than even anything we could make totally on winning the cup financially. So like, have some home ties, get a little extra cash, and then maybe win the cup. But anyway, now, I mean, like I said,
give me an away day, man. I'm an away day guy.
Yeah, I get it. But Millwall can suck it. That was terrible. They're criminals. It just was. I wasn't having it, and I don't love that I feel that way about them. But that was just brutal. I'm glad JP is mostly okay. Hopefully he's back soon. But it's good. It's a good win, and good. Send Millwall back where they belong.
Exactly. And we got
Tim, we can go for third time lucky next week on a watch along if you're about.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think so. Yeah, it's email me and we'll do it.
That's good.
All
That's sorted. All right then. All right, Tim.
See you guys.
Take care. See you.
Up the Palace.
Up the Palace. If you want to come on and have your say, you can click on the pinned comment in the live comment section. It should be at the top of your screen to join us. I'll post a link once again. If you're enjoying the stream, please hit the like button. I think we're nearly on 100 likes already. So that is fantastic. Thank you to every single one of you that's done that. Let's bring on the next guest of the evening, Chris. Should I call you Chris or should I call you Bollocks? I always call you Bollocks, so it feels weird saying Chris. What should I call you?
I don't know. That's up to you, mate. It's no biggie.
I'll call you Chris when we win and Bollocks when we lose.
Deal.
I think that's a fair thing.
You just toss a coin. It's cool.
Today you're Chris. 3-1 win
nice.
over Millwall. The floor is yours. Where do you want to start? It was a crazy game. Early kickoff, red card, disallowed goals. Nketiah, Munoz on the score sheet. JP, injury. Yeah.
No, it was action packed. It's better than watching another Man United Cup game on the BBC where nothing ever happens. No, first I want to say to you two, it was good listening to the interview about Scannell. Oh, he was a bit of a player. I don't want to digress too much. He was a bit of a player that I don't really understand his exit, but it's a weird one. But it feels like a long time ago now. It feels like a very different club to same club but different team to what we support. And yeah, like obviously it's a bit late, a bit longer gap now between when you usually have your shows, so we should have had time to calm down and reflect on it. But I'm still wound up about that goalkeeper, and probably even more the ref. And I just feel it rattled our players a little bit, and obviously missing their main man, their joker, the big personality, and wondering about his welfare and stuff. I think it kind of showed a lot of players were a little below par. I hate to give them credit, but Millwall's 10 men did make a pretty good fight of it, in both senses of the word. But no, they did get stuck in a little bit, but also had ideas. They had their methods, which was tend to be like throws and quite direct football. But I was a little bit, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I think our players knew what they were doing, keeping them at arm's length, but still could have shown a bit more. If we didn't let that go in before half time, I think we would have spanked them. And trying to play devil's advocate, because again, I've had a little bit of time to calm down on it all. In real time, I think Mateta didn't know what was coming. I think he didn't really know where the keeper was. And I think the keeper didn't have a long time to change his leg position, as it were. But once he had the ball, I think in any normal game, you then, you bend your legs. So if you hit them, you hit them with the side of your leg, or you try and twist. But he did the complete opposite. He's like, I've got the ball, and now I'm going to damage him. So I don't know if he forgot that there's cameras, or I know these stupid comments at half time, like all the fans behind the goal were having a go at him. But isn't justify you trying to kick somebody's head off. But it's like he had a split second conscious decision to extend his leg and try and get him. And then going by the keeper's reaction when Mateta's on the floor, and everyone in the whole stadium thinks, well, he's going to have to stop the play now. The keeper looked shocked he didn't stop the play. And I think the keeper looked generally shocked that he thought it really, really hurt him. And then he realised that the game was going to continue. And I think Minos tried to chip it over some players or something. And it still continued, and it still continued. And I thought, okay, you've got to let the game continue. But then when I saw a replay of it and saw just how close Oliver was to the incident, and he was looking right next to it, he must have been 2 or 3 yards away from it. I couldn't believe they allowed it to continue. I couldn't believe that he had to kind of look at the screen to make his mind up. And they couldn't just tell him, by the way, just go and show him a red card. But when you combine that with the incompetence of the lino, I think it was Lino who flagged for the other offside, the non-offside goal, where their player quite clearly kicked into one of their players that was in the crowd of their players and then put Munoz through. It's just complete incompetence. And of all people, Deeney actually said something relatively smart. And he said, I think the refs, it might be Murray, but I think it was Deeney, the refs and the officials just got too reliant on letting the VAR do the work for them. And that's like the thing, the big discussion point. But then obviously Millwall fans' chants were pretty ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't say there's a time and place for that chant usually, unless, for example, someone like Dawson got injured in front of us. But when it's someone who actually could quite easily be at risk of death, to say it is ridiculous. And chanting it out, that's just Millwall for you. Moving is we're in the next round of the draw of the cup, and the draw tomorrow should be interesting. But got the job done. I was a little underwhelmed that we couldn't go and thrash them, but I suppose we saved a little bit of energy for the Ipswich game.
Yeah, well, SA came on the pitch. We saw him, which was positive. France was also on the pitch. Wharton had a cameo. In that regards, I was a bit worried when they scored a 1 goal back that, maybe he might not sub on these players. I thought they could have had a bit more of opportunity if it's still 2-0, 10 men going into second half. What do you make of the players who don't really feature as much, who started today? Turner, Chilwell, SA, Franca?
The whole Mitchell Chilwell thing, I think I'll stick with Mitchell in that regard. Chilwell did okay. He's getting sharp, he's getting fitter, he's getting more game time. But I don't think Mitchell's really bounced back after that setback where he was applauded off but subbed for his own good. a few games ago. That was Everton, I think. In terms of France, so didn't get a great deal of the ball, but it's just nice to see him on a football pitch after his setbacks, injury setbacks. I'm not really sure how much of an impact it will have for us at the end of this season and next. As I think Louis commented, he grew into the game. And I think he probably was a little bit shocked at Millwall fan reaction initially, and then thought, I'm going to use it to try and silence you, try and get that goal to shut their fans up. And Turner didn't particularly endear himself to me by sort of spinning it a little bit. But when the ball came out to Millwall player for their goal, I still thought there's enough bodies in the way. Just an unfortunate deflection to get through the bodies. I don't know if it's a general instruction our keepers have, but he didn't seem to come and claim any crosses either. Maybe there's one or two he could have been a bit braver on, but that can also be levelled at Henderson sometimes. So maybe it's a general instruction we use to our goalies. I don't know. No, I think they didn't really steal their chance to shine, but it's nice seeing rotated and give some other players a breather. I thought Lerman played pretty well, did all that ugly work in quite an ugly midfield, and we ran the show midfield. But that goal before half time completely changed the dynamic of the game. Got the Millwall fans fired up too, which didn't help us. Yeah.
What about Nketiah?
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your thoughts on what we was talking about when he was waiting?
Completely different style, like you say, chalk and cheese to Mateta, and it'll take maybe a while for us to adapt to him. I don't know how someone like Sarr can link up with him as he did with Mateta, because Eddie's not the sort of bloke, in the very small time I've watched him at Palace and Arsenal, to try and get others involved. I think if he's got even on a 0.1, say, XG of scoring, he's taking a shot, he just pulls the trigger time and time again, which is fine for a forward. He's not the sort to try and look for neat 1-2s and whatever else. He's just like, my job's to score. I'm going to try and do it. He'll probably be offside a fair amount too. He's always on the shoulder. But very different style. But I still think it'd be effective. Two, like that League Cup header and this header, two really technically difficult headers to do. And the keeper just couldn't quite get to it for Millwall because it was that good and that hard to stop. So I think he'll get goals. Won't be the same sort of style. We won't be able to retain the ball as much as we do with Mateta as a focal point. But if we can work on how to get him involved more, maybe more free balls into the channels and his pace. I wouldn't want to mark either of them as a Premier League defender. I think, not like I am, if you're a Premier League defender, you wouldn't want to mark either of them. They're both a nuisance in different ways. But he's still got some work to do to be as much of a threat as Mateta. Hopefully he can learn, he can develop and be useful for us whilst Mateta's out.
Yeah, the quarterfinals is going to happen in a month's time, and hopefully we should have Mateta back by then. Is there any team in particular that you want Palace to face? Can we go all the way?
And do you prefer home or away?
Oh yeah.
I want a game I can get a ticket for, so probably home.
Yeah.
But so like not Bournemouth away, that's for sure. But I don't know. They're all these teams that are left. They're not the Arsenal or Liverpool, luckily, but they are all good.
Okay. Who do you want to avoid? Who do you want to avoid the most?
I think the winner of the Newcastle Brighton game will probably be a finalist, and I hope we don't get them until the final. Put it that way.
Would you like Brighton in the final? Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
No, who else would? You know who else would? He's been telling me. Yeah, Patrick.
Pat.
Yeah, Patrick. But even today, he was
that's
like,
too much. That's too much.
Even today, he was like, I want Brighton in the final if we get there, of course. And I was like, how comes? Like today, he didn't want to face Millwall at all. Like he struggled to sleep, everything. Like he was nervous for the game. But I was like, well, why would you want Brighton and not Millwall? And he's like, no, that's just how I am. Like I just want. He just wants Brighton.
I wouldn't mind. Like someone like Fulham away. You get the whole away stand. You get 6,000 in that.
So what happens with Bournemouth away? Do you get a whole stadium?
No, you get 15%. So you instead of 1,000, you'll get 1,500.
Yeah,
it's barely anything.
It's like, you almost want to say it's such a small stadium that kind of used to move it to like a bigger venue. Like if the home team like that was like a lower division team, they go move it to the next nearest big ground, but. In Bournemouth, there's nothing anywhere near them like Southampton, unless you play the quarters at Wembley too, which seems a bit silly.
Oh, it's at Wembley. That's just like ridiculous. We might as well play every game at Wembley at this point.
every team in that cup left. I mean, I say I've watched Preston for God knows how long, but all the teams that I'm aware of, they're just really good one-off cup teams. And the reason I'd like Brighton is firstly not just the players and experience. They got like one or two like Welbeck and one or two oldies. Although I think Lallana's left them since, and I don't know about Milner, what's going on with him. But for the best part, they're already young, and I feel like we have a few wider type players for that kind of occasion, like Hughes, and that's why I think Brighton would be a decent opponent in the final. But they still get past Newcastle. But whoever it is, Newcastle, Villa, Bournemouth, these teams are so deadly on attack that they're all good one-off cup teams. That's the problem.
Yeah. I'll be honest. There's not one team I think left in the competition that I think we can't beat. There's not one team left in the competition who I think we can't beat. Like I wouldn't go into any of the teams if we got them in the quarterfinal, I would be confident of a win.
I don't know about confident. It depends
who wouldn't you be confident against?
I don't think Newcastle would be easy, for example.
We absolutely battered Newcastle at home.
Bournemouth won't be easy, but that's different.
No, but I'm saying there's a difference between not being easy and being confident we can get a win. I'm not saying we will beat them, but there's no team like I don't think we can beat Liverpool away, and I think we struggle against Arsenal away when they're at full strength. But there's no one left in the cup now who, if we drew them home or away, I'll be like we can't win, or I'll be like, oh, damn.
Yeah, I don't fit anyone, I don't fit anyone. But of course, tomorrow will most likely be live anyways. I was just thinking about it right now. It's going to be the draw is going to be tomorrow at 6:30. So
is it not Monday or is it tomorrow?
No, tomorrow. Post Man United Fulham, so it'll be around 6:30. So we'll probably do a live show around that. So yeah. All right then, Chris. Anything else that you want to add?
No, I was to ask you too. Are you happy enough with the performance and things today, or was it just obviously the results the key thing? But
the cup. I think beating Millwall and getting through. I kind of didn't want any injuries. Mateta's in such a hot run of form. Like I probably would have preferred them to have 11 men and us to just batter him that way than them go down to 10. So that's. I would like JP for Ipswich. I don't like the fact that we've got the most informed striker in Europe out. That pissed me off more than anything.
And no Hughes either, who's exactly what you want against Ipswich. I don't know how they're doing. I don't know how Phillips and that is doing, but that's two quite big losses for that game. We should still beat them, but it's a concern. But anyway, let's enjoy beating Millwall because it's been a while since last time at Sellers. That's for sure. We've been at home for a while.
Yeah. Let's enjoy today and then build up to the Ipswich game. There's enough time to recover, and hopefully we can get another decent result. But appreciate you coming on, Chris.
I got to shoot off as well, D.
All right, then, no worries, Lou.
All right, bro.
Okay.
See you later.
I see you. Let's bring on Henry next. If you want to call into the show, feel free to click on the pinned comment to join us live. Henry, 3-1 win. I saw you outside the ground as well. You had a smile on your face. Yeah. A smile on your face now. What was your thoughts on the game?
Well, it was a great win. It's always great to beat them. I thought it was a good, solid performance overall. First half a lot better than the second half, but I really like the control we had in the first half, especially with like dominating most of the possession. Had them basically doing nothing but defend. I don't really remember many like times where I felt like they were going to score in the first half. There was a couple of moments in the second, maybe, but so I felt that the team put in a really good display, and to be honest, I've seen the photos and the footage of the. I don't even know if you can call it a challenge. I prefer to call it a karate kick, part 2. So something ridiculous like that. It's just I can't. When I was walking to the stations after the game, I just thought, like, how can Michael Oliver literally be within eyesight of that and need to go to VAR to actually check, to actually make up his mind. Like, it just amazes me, to be honest. But so I was kind of a bit worried when I got home, thinking like, how long is JP going to be out for? But I think luckily it's not going to be too long, hopefully. So that's good to hear, and I'm just glad he's all right, to be honest, because when that happened, there was like 8 minutes of just like everyone talking and like people being worried, like, you know, what's going on, because it was like, you know, you were kind of just sort of worried for just his health in general, like, was he even conscious, you know? So main thing is he's all right, and we get through in the FA Cup, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. You know, I mean, it was not the most convincing in the second half, but I say it was a good performance overall, because in these games, all that matters is winning and getting through.
Yeah, it does. It does. And we managed to get through. We're in the final 8 now. Of course, the draw will be tomorrow. But what do you think about Eddie's performance coming off for JP?
I think I like what Eddie's doing right now. I think he's done well in the last 2 games. He's kind of like winning me over a little bit, because I had some doubts about him. But I mean, the goal against Villa, even though it was a tap in, you know, it does seem to have boosted his confidence a bit, and he came on. He did well with the ball, and for someone who's not especially tall, he does seem to have a good habit of scoring these headers, like rising up and getting these headers. I remember one against Arsenal he did as well. So I like what Eddie's doing. I think he's doing really well right now. And, you know, hopefully that, you know, he can keep it going. Clearly,
do you have confidence with Eddie starting up front against Ipswich?
yeah, I do. I mean, I don't have the same confidence as I would if it was JP.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I think we're a lot more used to playing with JP's style of play. But I'm not like, I wouldn't say that, you know, it makes me feel less confident. I mean, well, it does than JP, but I'm not going into the Ipswich game thinking, you know, Nketiah is up front, we've got no chance. I think we just need to play to his strengths a little bit more. Like, maybe play it into feet, look for runs into the channels and things like that. I think we just need to sort of switch up our style a little bit to incorporate his game.
Yeah, and also if he starts and then Walton starts behind him, hopefully that creates a few more chances as well. That should help. Yeah, City have scored, so it's 2-1 City against Plymouth. So it seems like they'll be next round. After Plymouth was 1-0 up. Ben Chilwell started the game today. First start for Palace. What do you make of his performance?
I think he did well, but like nothing too like outstanding, but he did well enough. First half was really good, I thought. Second half, not as good, but I don't really know what you can expect. You can't expect too much from a player who isn't really accustomed to playing like 90 minutes on a regular basis anymore, because of how injury plagued he's been in recent years. So I think he's just getting back to speed in that regard. But I think it was a bit like, I did kind of think that Glasner might have taken him off, but like towards the end of the game. But then again, thinking about it, it is probably good for him to complete at 90 minutes. So yeah, I'm pleased with Chilwell. I thought Lerma did a really good job as well. Like, he's kind of like the unsung hero of the team. Like, he sweeps up, and like he does the kind of work that like doesn't normally get credited because doesn't look particularly flashy, but he still does a very good role. And it was nice to see Franco come on, and even Wharton as well.
Yeah, it seemed Eze came on as well, which was
Yeah,
good.
Eze.
So we saw him. What did you make of his appearance off the bench?
I don't remember him touching the ball many times, to be honest. But I thought what he did do, he did okay. I think it's a little bit of a. It must have been a bit of a weird feeling for him playing Millwall, like having just signed from them in front of his old fans.
Yeah, that one as
but
well.
yeah, I mean, it's just. I'm just so glad we've beaten them, to be honest, because like I can't stand them.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you
like
can, you can.
who can, but like
Yeah.
you know, all that chanting stuff, like I wasn't surprised by it. And to be honest, I was a little disappointed in some of our fans when we sort of some of us sang what they sang, but only a few of them. But there was a guy behind me who was saying, "Oh, don't sink to their level. We're better than them." And I was just like, "Yeah, we are, but we're like they're always going to be that way."
It's a
So,
chant that's not even against Millwall. It gets like when a player's down injured and the
yeah,
game's going against you. Like some people, I've heard it numerous times. It's not something that happens particularly in this game.
exactly. Yeah.
What do you think about the performance? Because I was actually going to ask you this. Chris saying this was a good result, but the performance was less than average. Was you surprised about how Millwall reacted with 10 men, especially the start of the second half? Because they created a few chances and it was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think what the performance is in our performance or theirs.
Yeah, our performance and Millwall's, they kind of pinned us back at the start of the second.
I'd say that basically at half time, their manager, I'm not going to say his name because I really despise what he said after the game about the JP thing, but he must have thought that okay, we've got 10 men. What we need to do now is like narrow the spaces, narrow the gaps that we can play down. And I thought they did that. To be fair, I think Lou was saying that as well. But I thought we were a little bit like almost. We were kind of a little bit half asleep in the second half, and it was like there was times where we like only just cleared it out of the box, and like it did get a bit edgy. But I always thought that as long as it stayed 2-1, we were going to be the team to break through them, because the longer the game goes on for a team like them, like they're always going to leave gaps because they're not used to playing teams like us in the FA Cup. You know, I just think that the way we've been playing recently, it kind of suited us to have that. Like, I just felt that the belief was always there that we could score the third goal, and we did eventually.
Yeah, and we did, and there was some positive performance out of that game. Next round in the FA Cup, we'll be doing a draw tomorrow evening after the Man United Fulham game. But is there any games you're looking in particular saying, you know what, if they go through, I'd like them? Or
there's teams that I want to avoid. I think I wouldn't want to play Man City. I was thinking to myself, like, because I've been watching the Plymouth game, and I was thinking I wouldn't even want to play them. You know, the way they knocked out Liverpool. But I'd say that
I would have loved to play Plymouth.
I mean, it would have been nice, but like I wouldn't have felt the best. You know what I mean? There would be a bit of like, you never know there. But I think someone like Preston at home would be all right. But from a selfish point of view, I've never been to Fulham away. I think that would be quite a nice one. But anyone at home, as long as it isn't Brighton or Newcastle or Man City, basically, that's what I want.
Yeah, I would right now as it stands. I think Preston at home is the number one fixture for me. I think that would be the best outcome. Of course, Villa have gone through, Bournemouth gone through. Seem like City are going through. We'll see tomorrow's games as well between Newcastle, Brighton, and then United, Fulham. So yeah, right now Preston at home is standing out for me. But some people want away games, so it depends on who you talk to. Because it wasn't only Lou. I bumped into someone and they said, I want Preston away from home because I haven't been there.
Oh God, that's a long way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a long way to go.
I prefer home tie. I prefer home tie. Hopefully by then JP will be fit as well. That would be a massive boost for him to come back and imagine if it was a goal when he comes back.
Bournemouth are still in there, aren't they?
Yeah, Bournemouth. They beat Wolves on penalties today.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So.
Well, Bournemouth away, please not.
No. I don't want that.
And they're a good team. Bournemouth, even at home, is not an easy draw, but I'd rather.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do
you have hopes about the cup this year? I mean, with Glasner in charge, with players coming back from injury, hopefully nothing's long-term with JP, or is it like, let's take it game by game and let's see who we get in the next round? Because, I mean, this is a manager who has actually won a trophy, a major honour, the Europa League, in his previous role.
Yeah, that's what makes me feel like it's kind of opening up for us now. Like, I don't want to sound too, like, what's it called, overconfident, because, like, we're Palace fans and we've never seen... Like, the most we've ever done is win the Zenit Data Cup and be in the Premier League for 10 years. This is our best spell we've ever had as a cup, really. But it does make me think that potentially there could be something if we get whoever we get drawn against, if we get to the semi-final. I think that'll be it. And then if we get to a final, part of me thinks that it could be the year, but I'm not going to say that because...
As long as United are not there.
Oh, God, don't mention
it's
that.
Always them. It's always them. Regardless of how
there is always them, but
whatever happens, we just never...
I think Fulham might do a job on them tomorrow, so let's see.
Yeah, let's see. That's the one to look out for. But I appreciate
I'm only worried about the good teams, not Man United.
Hopefully you don't jinx us. But thank you for coming on. We'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers, man.
Take care. If you want to have your say, feel free to call into the show. I'm going to wrap up in a few minutes' time. I'll go through the comment section. As I said, tomorrow we should be live for the draw. Plymouth knocked Liverpool out. Don't overlook them. I mean, I don't think Palace are going to overlook anyone, but I'd rather face a Preston North End than a Bournemouth. And I mean that with respect. I think it should help us. There's no guarantee that we're going to beat them, but yeah, Fulham will take care of United. Any other players today that we should mention? We have a Munoz, another goal. He's getting involved. He's getting involved recently. I don't know. I think he's got 3 goals and 3 assists, which is very good. He's getting involved going forward. Of course, we know what he can do off the ball, and the distribution and production actually from the wing backs, they're getting better and better. Even today, Chilwell got in decent positions to actually get a goal and an assist. And that is exactly what we need in the system to provide a width that we haven't had all game long. Interestingly, though, as we spoke about all the positives out of the game, I don't know what you lot thought, but Sarr, I don't think it was his greatest game today. And I think that was as a result of Millwall sitting back. And I think that's the one thing that I've been looking at home, especially. Not saying that he's had bad home games, but maybe going forward we can keep our eye out on that to see if it's just a one-off game or if there's not that much space in behind. Could that limit his game? That was maybe the only downside. Lacroix was good. Gahey was solid on the ball. Hughes, of course, we're not going to see him for a month. He's off for Ipswich. And actually, we might see him in the quarterfinals, depending on who we get and if Glasner plays him. But yeah, he's got a month off anyways. So yeah, Richards. I mean, we can quickly land on Richards before we wrap up. He's been better than Chalobah. I think that's the best way of saying it now. He has been better than Chalobah. Defensively, he doesn't look out of place. and physical, good in the air. Like, there's nothing really bad to say about him. The only downside of his game is that he's not the best player when on the ball, but that is his limitation. But what he does defensively, he's made up for it. And down the right hand side, that's, you know, he solidified that position and he's been very good. As long as he stays injury free, we've got a very good player in our hands, and we did. But of course, with Chalobah at the club, we didn't see much of Richards. So I guess that was normal with Chalobah coming to the football club. And there was a comment as well in terms of Sarr and Esse. Yeah, Esse, I felt like, first of all, I don't think we can write off Esse because he's only played God knows how many minutes since he joined Palace. I don't know if he's even played a total 45 minutes. He got that goal against Brentford. He hasn't really had that many appearances since then. Today, he had 1 or 2 good moments, but I felt like he was just trying to prove himself a bit too much. But that's going to happen. I mean, when Elise came into the club, he didn't start straight away. It took him a while for him to get it going. So he's, as Glasner said, he signed like a 4 or 5 year deal at the football club, not a 6 months deal. So naturally, we will ease him in, and I think in the long run he'll have a positive impact. France came on; he looked very energetic and up for it as well, which was a massive positive. Drop Turner for the next round. I guess we can have that conversation when the preview comes about, depending on who we face, of course. But yeah, I don't think Turner had a bad game today. But in the quarterfinal onwards, when you're 3 wins away from winning the trophy, I think now you just play Henderson and say, Turner, look, you've done a great job. And that's the case of you just getting dropped now. And he's saying couldn't catch the start due to time changes. Hope you safe for the game. Yeah, there was actually not that much crowd trouble from what I saw. There was that one Millwall fan in halfway. I don't know how he got there. Who got, I think, battered literally, and then apart from that, there was literally like no other crowd trouble. I didn't see anything. France was keen to make up for time, bottled for that ball. Had 2 Millwall behind me in the main stand. They kept quiet. Interesting. So yeah, I know there was like ticketing problems in terms of not selling out and then potentially going out on general sale, etc. But yeah, there wasn't that much crowd trouble, in honesty, from what I saw. Looney, I'm not convinced on Esse from what I've seen. He's not ready yet. He has potential, but he's not premium level yet. Keyword yet. Exactly. We have to be patient. And City have scored another goal, so it's 3-1 City. But yeah, so with Esse, I'm not as concerned as some of you may be, because I just think you're just going to have to give him time. He's still very raw, and his game has to be polished, and he'll get his opportunities as time goes on. And as Glasner said, it's still very early days for him. And yeah, so confirmed teams now. We've got City, of course, 3-1. That game is done. Villa, Preston North End, and Bournemouth. So yeah, right now Preston North End is number 1. Funny enough, I would put Villa above Bournemouth and City for who I want to face. Like, if we had to pick like top 3, it would be Preston North End, Villa, then Bournemouth, then of course City number 4. But yeah, so Plymouth are out of the cup. We'll see tomorrow who's around. But overall, great day. The only downside was Mateta, but thankfully it doesn't seem too serious. At the time it did, and it was a sour note despite us winning. And so as long as Mateta's back for the cup game in the quarterfinals, hopefully it's just the Ipswich miss, then everything today was perfect. The performance wasn't that great, but we moved. It's a cup game, and all that mattered is to win. And if Wharton starts against Ipswich, and Nketiah today proved himself once again, he was solid. Great goal as well. I think we should be fine. We just got one more game, then a nice little break, and then we go again for the quarterfinals. And if there's one manager that can do it, it is Glasner. But of course, a draw has to matter. Hopefully we get a favorable draw, and then we move on from there. But that's it from us. We'll be live tomorrow reacting to the draw. And the player ratings, there'll be a slight delay. Patrick is actually traveling back tomorrow. So unfortunately, he won't be able to record it with Lou. So they'll be recording it on Monday. So player ratings will be out a bit later than usual, but should be dropping. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, subscribe, people, if you have enjoyed it. Sean Scannell interview, make sure to check it out. Great gems there about his time at Palace and some of the players that he grew up with. So that is out on the channel. That's it from me. Thanks to every one of you that's tuned in live and watching on replay. And until next time, up the Palace.